One thing we've been thinking about at GoReport, and indeed we're going to release in the next month or two, is this, what we're calling GoPilot or knowledge base as well, which is basically all of the standards and regulations that would be applicable to a specific surveyor, and making them more accessible. Because one of the jobs, as you said, having been through a master's and a degree, to retain all that knowledge to an accurate degree and know exactly where it is incredibly challenging. But being able to then interrogate a massive database that you can pull out specific questions, all you then need to know is, I suppose you need to have the fundamental understanding of it exists. I can't remember exactly, but I know the right questions to ask in order to surface the right data for my customers. So there are exciting opportunities in terms of upskilling as well, I think.
Yeah, it's things, being able to on site take a photograph and say, is that balustrade the right height? Because most surveyors do not have an in-depth knowledge of building regulations. That's not our role. Changes too often. It's too complex. Our role is mainly to spot and flag things. And if we do need to do further research or we need to look it up when we get home, cladding's a prime example. I could not tell you what the current, EWS1 categories are and that are about. But actually, if I see it's their problem, I can go home and research it. But this puts it at your fingertips. So the ability to do that, is mega.
There's an interesting piece which I don't think will be so relevant for Novello, but certainly it's quite a challenge in the market more broadly, particularly when you're using public large language models, is that kind of data governance and data privacy, and people just loading things into ChatGPT. And I suppose your solution to that is to build your own. And I imagine it's all private and being trained on your own data. But that is also, I suppose, a challenge that people raise when it comes to thinking about AI and
yeah, people do need to be very careful about that. You're also giving away like your most valuable asset in this day and age, which is your data. You're giving that away. Ours is kept very locally, very secure. It was kind of one of the first things we kind of spoke about in terms of protecting that anonymized data, all those kind of things. But above that is the value of that data, those photographs, those notes, that ongoing training that you can put into there. I think probably GoReport probably have a very valuable data set. We've got a very valuable data set. Those data sets aren't there because when our AI guy was starting early on, he said this is probably available as a data set already, and he came back and said no, it's not. So that kind of information isn't out there at the moment, but it probably will soon be if people continue to use ChatGPT. And the client protection as well. You cannot be putting sensitive stuff into ChatGPT.